Welcome back to the Fluent Podcast. I'm your host, Ebony.
And I'm Tiffany.
And we are here today. I keep saying what episode it is, but do we do it 200 episodes in? That's what I was thinking about. We will do it 200 episodes in. Yes. So you're going to remember.
Yeah.
Okay, so what episode are we on now?
Episode 5.
I knew that. I just wanted to see if it was right. So I kind of knew that. Episode 5. And today I wanted to go back before we move forward. And I'm hoping as we have the conversation about what I've been thinking about, we then come up with the idea of what we want to talk about today. But before we go into that, again, just want to thank our listeners. They have given us such candid feedback. And our YouTube and Instagram and Spotify may not show the communication that we're getting from the DMs with everyone wanting to be a part of the process and cheering us on from people we know and people we don't know. We are excited to have both share both leverage and feedback. And we're going to share some of the things that we received in DMs a little later in this podcast. But I did want to open and welcome the Fluent family back and continue to say this is where we have real talk meets real growth. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about, Tiffany, with you is why music is so important to this podcast, because I think that, what I know is, as we looked at how we build this community, one of the things that's really important to a healing journey is music.
Yeah.
So when I think about people have asked in the DMs, tell me a little bit more about the music, I feel like we haven't explained the premise of this podcast. It's not just about where real talk meets real growth. It is about how we speak to music and how music has shaped our lives. So what's your thoughts on just the music part?
I feel like music isn't just background noise. It's a part of the work that you do along the healing journey. Like, you could hear a song from 10, 15 years ago, and it will trigger where you were in that time and place.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. That's definite. Like, I mean, I'm thinking of so many songs in my head right now, but one of the things that we want to do, from the intro to the outro music for the, why am I so tongue-tied today? Happy Thursday, Ebony, wake up. From the intro to the outro music, we just wanted to make sure that our audience were grounded in what this podcast is. So when you hear a song, I know you guys hear many things on social media, but when you hear a song on our platforms, understand that we're very intentional around that music. With such intention that even from a YouTube perspective, when you're listening to YouTube, Spotify, and eventually Apple podcasts, you will hear our intro music and our outro music. And that is original music from the artist by the name of Jakor, which you can find Jakor on social media. And the intro music is original music. The outro music is also original music from him, but he included Nas on the outro. So would love for you all, when you listen to the podcast, is to take those seconds, listen to the intro, listen to the outro, because everything is so technical and there's a lot of thought put into what our music is and what it isn't. And Fluent is about voice, ownership, integrity. And using original music is one of the things that it wasn't about branding, it was about a boundary. So just wanted to share that out there because I thought that was very important.
Now, why do each episode have a different song?
I mean, each conversation requires a different emotional posture. The songs that we choose set the emotional temperature of each episode. So just to even reflect on some of the songs. I know you picked many of them, but talk to me about one of the songs what was the song that meant the most to you so far? And why?
Okay,
so that song reflection.
I feel like week 4 is the song that I have the deepest ties to. because I remember, don't judge me, y'all.
Tell me what song it is.
DMX, What These Bitches Want. I used to write that song, the lyrics to that song in my little journal when I was a kid. And when we did our last episode on boundaries, that song, I was just like, yes. Even though his topic is in regards to like relationships with women, our topic is on relationships with people. And a lot of times, I'm not no fucking mind reader.
Not a lot of times. You're not a mind reader.
Period. Yes, I am.
Like,
not
let's
a mind
slow
reader.
that shit down. We're not a mind reader.
You know, I like to tell people I'm psychic. I'm a prophetess. But also, I can't read your mind.
She's confusing people. Like, it's not our responsibility to read anyone else's mind but your own. You barely can get your own mind read, let alone somebody else's.
No, dead ass. So, and that song just rings true to me because, one, I have an emotional tie to it from my past.
Right.
And then, two, the message is...
Even though you're a child of the world, bitch, you're a child of New York City.
Period.
No, okay, talk that bullshit. You're the child of the world. You are.
New York, so...
You've traveled the world, but you're a New York City kid. And no offense to any other city, but we New York City kids.
We different.
We New York City kids.
We could grow up or live anywhere.
Honestly. For sure. For sure. We're adaptable for sure. If you make it there, you can make it anywhere. We made it. And we made it out.
And we made it out.
And we're flourishing. And that's the important thing. But you did talk about you reading people's minds. And yes, some may be offended by DMX's lyrics, and me being someone that is, I'm like, am I saying this? I'm like someone that is, I can't even get it out, someone that is bisexual. You know, I believe my son or my daughter was like, have you read his lyrics? Are you listening to what he's saying? And ironically enough, anytime I'm going to a big event, I have my New York artists. It's about 10 or 15 songs, and 3 of those songs are DMX. So when Tiff reached out and said, I think I have the music for Boundaries. And she was like, and I think, I don't want to quote her, so I'll paraphrase. She was like, just hear me out. And anytime she says, hear me out, I'm like, oh, Lord, what are we doing? So she sent the song, and I was like, let's do it.
Yeah.
Why? Because I listen to the song often, and why? Because DMX is one of my favorite artists. He's one of those artists that you knew where you were when he died. When he passed away, I knew where I was.
Yeah.
I remember that moment.
And I didn't believe it. I thought it was one of those hoax where they be killing people.
Oh, wow.
They do that to people all the time.
I'm not going down that avenue with Tiffany today. But again,
I'm just saying, I was in disbelief when
I was very saddened by that.
Yeah.
Because I was rooting for him and hoping for him. And one of the concerts that I had not been to was to see him. And that was one of the things that I wanted to do. So again, when Tiffany sent that song to me, I said, let's do it. Like, without even thinking about it, I said, let's do it. And Boundaries, to me, when you look at the healing journey, there's so many elements to it. But Boundaries is what grounds you. It absolutely grounds you. If you're building a house, Boundaries is the foundation.
Yeah.
So if we wanted something impactful, we wanted something to kind of punch you in the nose to say, tell me what the fuck you want.
Yeah, period.
I can only do what you tell me to do. What other songs did you enjoy?
So Antidote by James Bamboo and Duran Bernard.
Oh, Duran. Okay, I know of him from Veronica. Nice.
That's my guy. I love him.
Yeah.
But that song, For Peace, oh, never gonna let a motherfucker touch my peace of mind. That, for me, was deep because who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
What? Yeah. So that song, I just love that song. And it's a new song. It just came out.
It is a new song. And I'm noticing that there's been some older music, newer music, and we also send music out with the journal prompt. Just understand. We are very technical when it comes to the music.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that not just us, but the audience is appreciating the intentionality around the music. They're asking questions, and that's why I thought I wanted to pause for a second to kind of share where we were in the music. One of the songs that has resonated with me the most is Quietly Detaching. Is it Yana Serene? I don't know. What I do know is I've researched her online, and I don't know if she's an AI artist, but I haven't really been able to get a lot of information on her, but I've been listening to her album. Her album is impeccable. So if you all are interested, please go back to our Instagram page and look her up. She is phenomenal. And with Quietly Detaching, you don't have to be loud and vibrant about what you're doing and what you're not doing, where you're staying and where you're going. You can detach yourself and leave with peace and dignity, and leave the love and the hope that everybody's going to be okay. So for me, that song was about peace, calm, and regulation. Peace, calm, and regulation. And then from a boundaries perspective, it doesn't always have to sound polite.
Yeah.
Sometimes
it got to be raw.
It's not always clear.
I feel like boundaries have, the verbiage that you use for boundaries has to be raw in order for everybody to be on the same page. If I prance around the topic that I want to discuss, then you're going to be sitting there like, so yes or no? Whereas the way DMX...
What y'all bitches want?
What the fuck do you want? Period.
What do y'all want? That's what they're saying. So then, that's one thing I wanted to talk about before we get into topic. And hopefully while we're trying to get into topic, we'll feel it as we're talking about where the music comes from. So behind the music. And you'll see behind the music every Wednesday on our Instagram, so you'll know what we're thinking as we're talking about the podcast. You know, on Sundays, we send out the journal prompt. Everything is very intentional to help you along your healing journey while we heal out loud. There are going to be other days. You have Fridays. Friday is the emotional wheel day. Just think about it. How many of us were raised where we actually were able to share our emotions? The only emotions we know is happy, sad, glad, and mad. They're a subset of emotions. There's so many emotions. So let's just get curious with what our emotions are on Friday. Let's sit down and figure out how we journal on Sunday. Let's look behind the music on Wednesday. And let's be ready to listen to the Fluent Pod on Tuesday. Because it's 7 a.m. on Tuesday. Right now, like I said, we're on YouTube and we're also on Spotify. But as we transition into talking about our listeners, you know, when we look at the analytics behind YouTube and behind Instagram for now, you can say, okay, they have this many followers, but we're at a point where we're almost thousands of listeners. So people are interested. And the people who have DM'd us, I wanted to share some of that. I may not share it all. And if I leave anybody out, I'm sorry. Please give me that feedback and we'll circle back maybe on social media to put it out there if you don't see it. But I wanted to share a few things that really resonated with us. And one of the things that one of our listeners said is, I feel calmer when I listen, like my body can finally settle instead of brace.
It feels intentional and grounded. I know where I am in the conversation and I don't feel overwhelmed.
I feel like I'm part of a healing community. I don't feel alone anymore. It feels shared, not isolating.
I leave trusting myself more without feeling the need to explain or justify my choices.
I like that. And this one I really love. So we're going to end with this because that question has come up a million times. Why aren't you like a normal podcast? Why can't we see you and Tiffany? You know who the fuck we are.
Period.
It doesn't matter what we look like. What we want to focus on is what the fuck we're saying. We are two brown girls, mothers, who are healing out loud to end generational trauma. We are cycle breakers. And what we look like should not matter. So one listener said, I love that it's audio first. I want to slow down because I love this. I love that it's audio first. I can listen while cooking or moving around my house, and it still feels intimate and present, different from other podcasts. So to that listener and to all the listeners who have shared feedback with us, we appreciate you. And to those additional 1,000 listeners that are not currently signed up, whether it's on Instagram or Spotify or YouTube, we encourage you to do so. Like I said, this family is welcoming. You know what type of arenas I don't get in, so I'm not going to repeat that. If you know what you know, or you go back and you listen. But we do want to say thank you as we move into episode 5, because we get a choice. We get a choice. You have a choice. Tiffany and I have a choice to do this every week, but you have a choice to listen every week, and we appreciate you. And we do appreciate those who are still listening but haven't joined us yet.
Yeah, but y'all can interact with us. We don't bite. Do you bite?
I do bite, actually. I'm a little bit of a hater. I do bite a little bit. I do. So I thought about it, and I heard the word choice or choosing a few times. So I'm thinking, as we go into today's podcast, how do you feel about when you stop explaining and you start choosing? When you stop explaining and you start choosing. What are your thoughts around that?
When you say choice, what are you really talking about?
It could be the choice of many things. Let's just open it up and see where we go. When you think about choice is not a reaction, it's a decision. So if my choices are not a reaction, it's a decision, because we're healing out loud. So we're looking at it from a healthy perspective, right? So it's when you stop explaining and you start standing on what you already know. So stop explaining and start standing on what you already know.
And why do you feel people why do you think that people feel the need to explain themselves?
You know, you and I have gone back and forth with this for so many months. Even when you think about, as I went back in the last few days and started listening to all of the podcasts that we sent out, and I hear Tiffany asking questions like, wait, so you've been okay with interrupting your piece? You've
compromising.
Been compromising your piece?
Yeah, that word triggered me.
Your piece. And I think the same thing with choosing yourself and not explaining yourself. That's how I look at this evolution of a journey, is if we're going to speak out loud about the other things, let's speak out loud around maybe in the past you didn't choose yourself, but now you're in a space in your life where you're like, the best thing I can do for myself is to choose myself. So I think to answer your question, it's because we're taught that that agreement equals safety, but alignment doesn't require consensus.
I also think we're conditioned that way as kids as well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
To always explain our thoughts and actions, not thoughts, actions, because people don't care what you think. They want to know why you did what you did.
But that's what I was saying in a previous podcast, is that as humans, where's curiosity? I feel like I grew up in a very curious space. And that could be why I'm not at a loss for words. That could be why my communication style is the way that it is because I grew up in a very curious space. And maybe that was because it was militant and very Black Panther and Black, preschools that I went to. It was a lot of curiosity. And I'm finding today, and when I say today, I don't mean an age group, but just people that I've engaged with, there's not enough curiosity. So that's what I'm yearning for as I lead myself back into the world, lead myself back into the dating pool, is where is the curiosity about the other human? There's a lack of curiosity.
I think working disrupts curiosity of humans.
Tell me more.
Because when you're a kid, you can be curious because you don't give a fuck about no bills.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So I feel like in some way the world is structured, it removes that opportunity or capability of being curious and adventurous and spontaneous, because the bills are always due on the 27th of every month.
I think you're being extremely intellectual right now, and I'm calling bullshit. And here's the reason why I'm calling your bullshit. You are extremely curious.
I am, but I'm an entrepreneur.
Okay.
When I was in the military, I wasn't curious about a goddamn thing. Give me my TO and let me go do my job. Like, mama got to pay the bills.
So I thought you were speaking, sorry to cut you off. I thought you were speaking like in the moment while your curiosity is not there. And I'm looking at you, I'm like,
oh no, today's Tiff is very curious, very
yes,
spontaneous and adventurous, but I have a different version of myself where I was not that way.
Got it.
And after reflecting, I'm realizing it's that 9 to 5 mindset of, or the hustle and bustle of having to take care of all these adult things.
Yeah.
We just aren't allowed to live in that space.
I think
long enough for it to be impactful.
I think that that's really unfortunate, because you're not wrong. But the one thing that I love about me as an individual is I don't get caught up. And if I do, it's not for long.
Mm-hmm.
And I get to decide what long is. You don't get to decide what long is. You don't get to decide me interrupting my piece. I get to decide that. But I do think at my core, I'm extremely curious. At your core, you're extremely curious. Like our community, our village, our tribe, we're curious people. When we get together, you know, as
I agree.
As Maddie will say, like, you guys are just serious. Like, we're not. We have so much fucking fun. However, we engage in real conversations that are empowering and lifting and all of those things, which allows us to have choice. I get to choose my friends. I get to choose my friends.
Yeah.
I actually get to choose my family. Because we're so focused. Why'd you smirk?
Nothing.
Okay. We're so focused on that's your mother, that's your brother, that's your sister, that's your this, I don't live my life that way.
I like choosing. That's why I'm smiling.
Okay.
Because, girl, the way I will act, like, I don't care if we grew up together.
Yeah.
If you are disrupting anything I have going on, or vice versa, if you feel like I'm disrupting what you got going on,
same.
We don't have to do this.
Same. I feel that. I think it feels quieter to me. It's less of an urgency. I'm less defensive. I'm more calm. So I think we all need to give ourselves choices. We all need to give ourselves choices.
So what do you do when people don't understand or agree with your choices?
That's a really good question. What do you do when people don't agree with your choices?
And it's kind of ties back to that question I asked you about in regards to shame. Like, why do certain things make you feel shame when it's your choice?
I think shame is rooted in your childhood. I think when you don't, gosh, there's so much to unpack. You asked me one question.
I know.
I have 10 things in my head.
I just went a little bit deep.
You went a little deeper. I think that when you're in a healing journey and you start at where you are, for example, I'm 49. Look at me, look at me, look at me. At 49, if I started my healing journey today, I would probably talk about all the things that are happening with me today, right? And what you find is when you are in talk therapy and you're focused on what happened today, and you don't spend enough time discussing how you got to today, is where I think shame tends to lie. In addition to when you're in therapy and you're starting to move through your childhood, if you're doing it the right way, you're moving through your childhood. It's a decision. It's a choice. Then to say, I'm not what I was. I'm not where I came from. And if you continue to live that life, that's a choice.
Right.
So if you're living in shame, there are things about my childhood in the last year that my therapist was able to outline for me. And it was like a big, bold sign with her mouth. This happened to you, this happened to you, this happened to you. And it took me I was so taken back by it. I needed 3 months off of therapy to process it. There was so much. And once I processed it, I then had to process the shame behind it. And it wasn't anything I even did. It was what I lived with and lived through.
Yeah.
Right? So with shame, you have to be able to work through that, or you're not going to have the clarity that you need in life to put one foot in front of the other. And most of the time, I just want our listeners to think about it. Most of the time, the shame is not even yours. Like the action is not even yours. The behavior was not even yours.
But sometimes the action is yours, but the emotion and the mindset behind it is not. For example, because you kind of talked me through this before when I was telling you about how aggressive I used to be and violent I used to be, and the way I used to throw stuff at my husband.
Oh, wait, what?
I used to throw hands.
Hold on.
I'm being for real. That is something that I used to feel extreme shame about.
I just want to pause for a second because shout out to Big Reese.
I love my nigga.
I'm obsessed with the two of you for sure. But I'm breathing through it, audience. So,
but no, I grew up watching my mother do that stuff.
Interesting.
I told you when my uncle came in the house, asked her for something, and she was drinking a cup of water. A glass of water. She threw the entire glass at him.
Wow.
But that's not. She always did that to everybody who pissed her off. In that moment, sense. The moment she was throwing something across the room, she used to throw stuff at me and my brother. So once I got into therapy and I realized, like,
what y'all niggas want?
Hello? Like, why am I... What my commander asked me that one time. He was like, what is wrong with you?
What y'all niggas need?
I don't know. I'm just... When I snap and I black out, it's just... It is what it is.
You see red?
But then when I started going through therapy, I started feeling shame.
For the behavior.
Yes. You're a grown-ass lady.
Got it.
You got kids and you still out here fighting people.
Throwing stuff. I asked you the same question. I was like, wait.
When did you stop fighting?
No, let me ask my question. I said, audience, so when did you stop fighting? I said, like, because my real question was, bitch, tell me you wasn't fighting when you had children.
Shit, sure was.
And this is where the transparency and the vulnerability is so important. This is why Healing Out Loud is so honest and so raw. And I appreciate you saying that because it was okay for you to feel shame for your behavior because I think feeling the shame allowed you to change.
Oh my God, I was literally just thinking that.
Feeling the shame allowed you to change because imagine if you was it your commander?
Yes.
Imagine if you were in front of your commander saying, I don't give a fuck, that's just who I am. My mother did it, my brother did it, my sister did it, No, you had to take a look at yourself and say, change is required.
Well, he didn't actually help me come to that conclusion. He kind of enabled it because he said, if you wasn't a top performer, you'd be gone. But because I was a top performer, he just swept it under the rug and I kept it pushing. I didn't learn this until I started doing my own work after I got out of the military because believe it or not, they don't provide us mental health services. And I say believe it or not, I know that's a stigma in the military.
Right.
That we don't get the mental health that we need. Even when you want mental health.
But it's true.
They tell you no.
I'm learning that. It's a lot of sadness when I learn things that are happening.
But when I got out, that's when I started doing the work. And that's when I was just like, damn. I spent my whole 20s being a loose cannon. But
here's the beauty. No regrets. Here's the beauty. If I didn't start therapy at 28, in between 28 and now 49, I've had 4 therapists. I wouldn't be where I am today. So when I think about the possibility, because there's a possibility. I mean, look at me. There's a possibility. I'll live 50 more years. If I get to live 50 more years in this body today, this mind, this body, this temple, it was all worth it. And I'm not saying 50 years is worth it. I'm saying this year is worth it. Next year is worth it. 50 years would just be a blessing. So that's how I look at it. It's not if it ever happened. It's when it happened.
Yeah.
And you're already in when. Some of our listeners are not in win yet. They're in if. And we're encouraging you to get to win.
Yeah.
Please get to win.
Yeah.
Life is so good here.
It is.
It's not confusing.
Yes.
It's not confusing. It's not confusing.
And that goes back to what you were saying. Like when someone reaches out and is like, hey, I want to have a conversation. There is no guilt on my side because what you want to know?
When I tell you, and this is not a Leo thing, this is not an Eb thing. And when I say Eb, not many people get to call me Eb. This is really about when someone says they want to talk to me, sure, what time? Because I don't give a fuck. Whatever we need to talk about, I am equipped to have the conversation.
Yes.
That's what people forget. We're living in survival. But we're now uncovering it's not about living in survival. It's not about that. It's about doing the same shit over and over and over and over again. And then the mental health community has labeled it living in survival. No, it's not. It's about you not wanting to make the choice to change.
Accountability.
It's about accountability. It's about choices. So when you asked about, I think the question you asked me, what happens when people don't, that's how we got here. What happens when people don't? Tiffany's like, yeah, I think what happens when people don't understand your choice. Closure for me is a mutual. Call it mean, because I've been called so many things, but closure for me is a mutual. What I find is, and it is situational though. I will say that. I know I'm going to get dinged because Tiffany's eyes she went to the left and the right at one time. It is situational for me with closure. I have given people closure in the past. It's not a commitment of mine. It's a feeling and it's a choice. I get to choose. So some might say, well, you gave X closure, but you didn't give me closure. It's a feeling. Yeah. It's a choice. I get to choose. But I can also move forward in life without convincing anyone. You know why? Because I have leverage. You know why? Because as you can't see my hands, but a bitch can level up. Why? Because I did the fucking work.
Yeah.
And when you do the work, you got options.
You got options.
You got choices. Level the fuck up. Level up. That's what the healing journey is all about. So when I'm sitting across from someone or when I'm on the phone with someone, or when someone DMs us and asks a question, I have somewhat of an idea of where they are in their healing journey. I have an idea. When I sat down with you the first time, I was just like, okay, if we're talking about the KKK, if we're talking about my analogy with the KKK, it's so fucking real. We got a lot of questions about that too, which we may not talk about that today. But people, it's resonating with them. I think initially it feels like, why are we talking about that? Especially in this day and time and living in the South and being very, very close in proximity to it. But at the end of the day, you are going to keep your hood on. You're going to keep your hood on until you know you're safe. Because there are more people healed today after 2020 than there was prior to 2020 or in a healing journey. Because I want to say healing is ing, is not ed.
Yeah.
You are forever healing. Forever healing. But with that, you can't always take your hood off. And the beauty about this journey is, you know when you need to put that shit the fuck back on. You know
but also, to put it on. I think sometimes when you're unapologetic with who you are and you don't care that people gossip about you.
Gossip about you?
Well, because sometimes you can have, you can say things or say, for example, there's 3 parties. There's a mutual party.
Okay.
So if I go to the mutual party and I say something about the third party and that mutual party go back and tell the third party, I don't give a shit because I'll say it to their face.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes people can live in their truth in that way where they don't need hoods. You know what I mean? Whereas like, I don't care that you see me because I'm in control with the way my environment is being conducted.
So I think the hood for me is a little bit different, but I know what you're talking about. The hood for me is, it's about And that's why the KKK makes sense, because it's about how safe we are in general.
So you're talking about safety. I'm talking about visibility.
Correct. Okay. I'm talking about the safety of a healing journey.
Okay.
Meaning we can't always have open dialogue with certain people because they only know what's at the end of their nose. They don't know anything beyond something they've never seen, heard, or felt. So when you go through a healing journey, your perspective changes so vastly that you're unprotected with someone who hasn't. You're unprotected because there's always going to be pushback because they only know what they know.
Okay.
And their reach is only but so far. So that's why I'm saying the hood goes up, the hood goes down, the hood goes up. And that goes back to when you and I first met. You were very cautious. You are very cautious. She's smirking. You are very cautious about what you share. I can be a little more problematic and just share. I'll share at Whole Foods. I'll share at Sprouts. I share anywhere. I'm very open in that way.
Of which we met.
Correct.
It's
met professional.
In my professional
realm. Yes.
So I always carry some sort of mystery.
Okay.
So that I don't scare my clients off. You know what I mean?
It's a yes and for me. Shout out to Everyday Cachet with the yes and. It's a yes and because the type of conversations we were having, you were hesitant, and it wasn't about professionalism. It was about your comfort of where you are in your journey and not knowing if that person was also there. Because what we find in this community of healing is a lot of resentment, a lot of pushback, frustration from people due to lack of understanding. It's due to lack of understanding. When we, as we level up in this journey, don't understand someone, we get curious. We ask more questions. People who are not a part of a healing journey don't have the intellectual horsepower to ask those questions. They're hindered by the gravity in which they've learned. They haven't learned enough. You have to seek in this journey. You've got to seek to understand in this journey.
Girl.
They don't have it. They don't want to have it. Because we went back to that conversation earlier, 2 podcasts
ago. North Carolina is last in education. We're lucky to have found each other.
But that just to kind of close out the whole KKK and the hood of it all, because people were like, tell me more.
But I think they got a deeper understanding. I got a deeper understanding as well. Like, I feel like I understood what you were saying, but the more I pondered on it, I was just like, well, what if people don't need hoods? But
you need your hood.
Yeah.
Be careful. Protect yourself as someone in the healing journey. You need it. Because I get your point about when I say something, I say it. You already fucking know. When I say something, I say it. And I don't have to backpedal or walk it back. I don't have to do that. But it also doesn't cost me anything as a healing person to say I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Or that wasn't my intentions. But understand, people, your intentions do not matter once somebody tells you they're offended.
Yeah.
Stop telling me these were my intentions. Don't want to hear it. Hear people when they say you hurt me. You harmed me. Your intentions don't matter. And that's when you know, because here's the thing about a healing journey, right? You're going to find some people that say, I'm in therapy. Okay. That doesn't mean that your hood comes off. You get what I'm saying now? Because all therapy is not the same therapy.
Yeah.
All money ain't good money. All therapy ain't good therapy.
Some therapists just not good at their damn job. Because when you going to stop asking me these damn questions and get really into it?
But here's the thing. That's why I strongly suggest that you date as many therapists. I didn't say sleep with them, you all. I said date. Date as many therapists as you can. Metaphor. Hypothetical. Because you have to get comfortable. This is someone that you're going to probably share more vulnerable things with than you ever will anyone in your entire life. Not me. Because I'm very vulnerable in therapy and outside of therapy. But it doesn't mean I take my hood off for everybody. You see the difference? My hood will stay on because you're unprotected in certain spaces. You are. But you got to date around with therapists to identify who's the safest space for me. Because in therapy, you have to be able to share everything in order to be free. That's why if someone says, hey, can I talk to you? My nervous system doesn't get all whacked out because I'm prepared to have any conversation with anyone.
Yeah.
And I'm curious enough to figure out, where do we go from here? What's our way forward? That doesn't bother me not one bit. I don't lose any sleep over that.
Resolution.
Reciprocity, resolution, reconstruction. It could be so many things.
Yeah.
Destruction. It could be so many. I'm open to it all because I have the right tools. And that's another thing. When you go through this journey, you create tools on your tool belt. So visually, audience, create a tool belt around your waist. How many tools do you fucking have on your tool belt? How many tools do you have in your tool belt? Because if you're still pulling out that same fucking hammer, you need other tools.
Hammers are good, though.
You need other tools.
Hammers are good. They get straight to the point. You need this nail in the wall? Bam. Nail in the wall. You need this nail in this table? Bam. Nail in the table.
Metaphor. Yes. Metaphor. Yes. Metaphor.
I think
they need more
hammers
tools on
are
their
good
tool belt.
for like reestablishing or confirming your boundaries. But you're right. We do need a measuring tape. We do need nails.
Right.
We need screwdrivers.
You need all of it.
So you can take it slow as you twist. Maybe you have a person that's hard to learn.
Yeah. So you lift your hood and you put your hood back down. You have to be careful with that. So when you think about your choice or your choices that you've made, what initial thoughts do you have?
Integration. Let your life catch up to your decisions.
So integration, let your life catch up to your decisions. I want to sit with that for a second. Letting your life catch up to your decisions. Wow. That's a good one, too. Letting your life catch up to your decisions.
I think a lot of times we go through life carelessly. And then once you start going through therapy, it's like so much comes flooding back. Yeah. When that memory opens up and it's like, damn. But that's your moment that's your fork in the road. Am I going to keep going left?
Yeah.
Or should I go right?
Yeah.
Choices.
Yeah, I'm stuck on that one. I'm stuck on letting your life catch up to your decisions. Because when I hear that, I immediately go to shame. So letting your life catch up to your decisions, I go to shame. And because I've learned how to remove shame, doesn't mean I don't live in it, right? I live in shame. I work through it. We're human like everybody else. You go through the emotional. That's why the emotional wheel is so important. And I know we posted on Fridays, but we're encouraging you to look at your emotions on a daily basis. So when I think about letting life catch up to the decisions that I've made, now that I've removed shame, it brings in joy. Because I'm happy about every decision I've ever made.
So you say joy. My word was relief.
Oh, I like that too.
But they're parallel.
I like that too.
Yeah.
I do. I enjoy that. Yeah, I'm smiling because one building block over the other. They're all building blocks. Yeah. So although I may look at shame initially and sit in that space, I immediately move to happy. I move to acceptance as I'm thinking about happy. So I move from happy to acceptance. And if you aren't following, this is where the emotional will help you. But I move from happy to acceptance to courageous. Happy, acceptance, courageous.
It takes courage.
That's what I think about life when letting life catch up to your decisions. Yeah. It takes a lot of courage
to choose yourself.
To choose yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Especially when your mind, your body, your heart, right, is telling you to do something else. There's so many decisions to be made. You know, one of the things that my therapist and I are working on is finding your peace. We've closed the chapter and I've let it go with my children. They're out flying and seeing the world, and I'm so proud of them. So now I can focus on me. But one of the things that we're working on is brain spotting. Do you know what that is?
No.
So we're working on brain spotting right now, and it's a game changer. And I'll leave it there for a second because I want to talk more about it as I have more sessions with it. But there's a level of letting your life catch up with your decisions and brain spotting allowing you to receive it, to receive the decisions that you've made. But I'm happy. I'm genuinely happy. And
That's
I'm not
what therapy do, girl.
I'm not saying that I don't know what my life would have been like without therapy, and I won't apologize for it. And it could have prevented me from many things in my life. It could have prevented me from potentially the love of my life. But at the end of the day, I have to always choose me. Because the lack of choosing you, even when you're in a marriage like yours, where there's genuine love, where there's genuine growth, where there's genuine responsibility. There's so many things I could say. But, you know, one day when I said something and you said, no, that's between him and his therapist. Like, you don't take the emotional labor.
I can't. I got enough emotional labor of my own.
And he feels respected and he feels appreciated. And more importantly, in my opinion, he feels seen and he feels heard.
I try till you start talking about that damn 2K.
I don't know what 2K is.
Exactly. It's a video game.
Do they kill people?
No.
Okay.
You always say that.
I'm really not into like the killing of the people and all of that. But I know Haley, my baby Haley, I know she wants to teach me how to play video games. And I said, you know what, Haley? Video games might come up in my future. Somebody may want to play video games with me. Come on, I'm ready to learn video games. So I don't know why I have this urge. I'm like, I want to learn video games.
Girl, I can't. It's too much.
I love it.
Video games?
I do now because...
The idea of video games or actually playing video games?
You know what? I had a little person, what do you call your littles? I had a little person in my life recently who played video games. And because my kids didn't play video games, as a matter of fact, I think Jared got his first video game when he was either 16 or 18. Or maybe he got his first gun when he was 18, like a Nerf gun. I didn't let him play with, like, we didn't allow that growing up. But he didn't have a video. We had the Wii, the normal family shit. But he couldn't, like, play video games at home. We now learn whether it's the healthy lunch we sent them to school with or video games they played and ate bad food at school and played video games at other people's house. So you can only protect them in your house. Let me say that. But a little person that I was around for several years, I wasn't big on video games. But they taught me that you can have a career with video games. You can learn from video games. So I have a different point of view now with video games where if I had children today, I would have no problem with them playing video games. I think everything needs to come in moderation. I think everything needs to be time. But I have no issue with video games now. None whatsoever. Love them.
I'm ready to learn with it. I just don't like playing.
I'm not going to... You guys have your system and it works.
It makes me want to look at the emotional wheel.
I would love for you to play a video game with Reese from time to time. And sadly, I think that you will enjoy it.
What kind of games?
I don't know.
He liked to play games where he could yell at people and tell them that they're not doing enough.
Do you think you would do the killer video games?
No, it caused me anxiety.
It would cause you anxiety. Got it. That totally makes sense. I don't know how we got on video games, but I love that we're talking about that But again, there's reciprocity in your relationship. So if Reese is fine with you not playing video games and that's his outlet, then I think he should go do it.
I feel like there's enough people that listen to him talk about that, that he's covered in that department.
What's going on with you this weekend? Actually, how's your week going? I probably should have started there. How's your week going? What are you planning to do this weekend? I know snow is coming again. I'm not sure why we're playing with our braids like this, but I'm listening.
I'm taking it one day at a time.
Okay. With the snow?
Yes.
Okay.
It is what it is. Like, I honestly
last weekend was fun.
I had to quietly detach from whatever's happening.
Gotcha.
The snow is just
quietly detaching.
It just it makes my brain have to think.
Because it stops the business and then you have to put everybody on your calendar next week. That's fun times in Richmond High.
And it's not even just putting them on my calendar for next week. I got to work on my off days.
Oh, yeah, that's true, too. I forgot about that part. But hopefully snow won't be that bad. We'll know more in the next few hours of what's going to happen.
I already have my clients this weekend trying to reschedule.
So what about my hair on Saturday?
Happening.
I know I look like a cool girl right now. I'm Jill Scotton today, guys. Look her up. I'm Jill Scotton.
I don't know. We got to figure that out.
Yeah. I can't wait to get back to the gray. I'm obsessed. I might take a little break and then go back, but can't wait to get back to it. Thinking about it. But this weekend, there's so much business to get done. But it's going to be a quiet weekend, which is nice. I'm kind of looking forward to the weather happening.
I'm not gonna lie. Those 4 days,
you cook cakes and shit at home.
I sure did. I baked cake. I baked the cake every day. Them boys and my husband and my brother, they could go through a cake in one day.
I saw your brother on social media and he was like, "What's that on my mouth? I got cake." I said, "He's cooking cake." I didn't know that. I wasn't invited over for any cake, and none was dropped off at my house.
Well, we were stuck in the house. That's the type of shit I do when I'm in my house for more than 2 days at a time.
You could have got to my house in 20 minutes.
20 minutes?
It's an 8-minute drive, but exactly. You drive slow. In this weather, so 20 minutes.
I need to get a helicopter.
Okay, so Tiffany has her list, and helicopter was not on it. She wants a driver, and that's the goal.
Okay, and I want that for her. Drive, I get an airlift. Over all the precipitation.
All right, you all. I think we went on a tangent, and I'm going to bring us back. So when you stop explaining and you start choosing yourself, that's another level up on the healing journey. So I thank you all for joining us today. We'll see you next Tuesday. Until then, connect with us on Instagram and stay fluent. Bye, you all.
Bye.
Yo, release was semi. Besides the Henny, it's I've seen plenty. Things get skinny as if Queens was a crack Jenny. Instead of diet plans, it's crack 200 grams. I pump a G-Pack, peeping for where the D's at. It's slow, looking for Rambo, the cop who got grades back in the days. Chasing niggas through my project maze. That cop, he got a death wish. He run behind niggas until you breathless. Every day he making 10 arrest shit. My nigga, check this. I know the bitch he rests with. I even blessed it. 40-10 inspected. Already checked the done is ankle. You can see it's good.